Hello and welcome to our third episode and podcast. Shut up, this is the best part. And good evening, BB. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Dan Dan?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, not too bad. What's been going on in your little world then?
Not much, really. Not much. Just been day-to-day life, really. I mean, it's getting boring, but, you know... honestly, it sounds like sad, but there's not really much to offer in the aspects of I haven't been skydiving or hang gliding or anything the past couple of weeks. Just, paying the bills and keeping the house clean. What about you?
Do you mean parents don't do that kind of thing on a daily
I know.
basis?
I think people have this weird thing to think that once we put our kids into school, that we've booked ourselves in for like zip lining or jumping off cliffs or something, and we spend 5 hours just kind of doing our best to keep the adrenaline going. And I think that's a picture of what some people get as what as parents do. But unfortunately, no, if you're going to become a parent, that is exactly what you don't do.
Oh.
Um,
Okay, note to self, another reason not to become a parent. No skydiving on a Tuesday.
oh,
Okay.
just letting it all down there, aren't I?
But no, I'm alright. I've going to work, coming home, sleeping somewhere in between, going to work. That's about it. That's my life.
I know, I think people expect some sort of like, oh, well, they've been doing this. I think the truth of it is, I think even sleeping is a very foreign concept to me right now. I'm definitely not, I've definitely got a lack of sleeping going on. But I don't know whether it's because the seasons are changing. Like, I know a lot of people say, like, the reason why, like, sometimes you can't sleep so well, when it changes season, is because our, like, body clocks or something are, like, changing to the season. But to me, a Friday's a Friday, do you know what I mean? So it doesn't matter if it's winter or spring, like, I just don't sleep anyway.
No, that's fair. But do you know, with the weather, for the first time today, I think I've been genuinely happy. It's been sunny today
Oh, it's
down
been
where I
nice
am.
today. Yeah, same for me. It was the first time that I looked at my front garden and thought, I wouldn't mind pruning you today.
I can't say I had that same thought, but that is a, a fair thing to want to do on a summer's day. No, I was just in a good mood. People kept saying to me like today, like, "You're all right." Yeah, terrific. The sun is out. Vitamin D. What? All my problems have gone away now. Happy, happy me.
I know nothing matters. The debt
Mm-mm.
doesn't exist. It's
Nope.
sunny. Like, I feel like that's definitely been a day for me where I've kind of been like, my son's wanted to do a couple of things, and I'm like, normally when it's like really drab and you can see the dark outside, and you're like, oh. But today I actually feel like I had a bit of a productive day in it, and I feel like it's down to the weather, and I feel like maybe as much as I love the winter, because I do love the winter, I think the winter's actually a wonderful time of the year. Um, but I do enjoy when spring does eventually. And I saw my first bee the other day. So
You're a bee.
yeah, and it was trying to come into my house, so that was a different story. But um yeah, I saw my first bee, and it was coming trying to come into my house, and there was a bit of wafting, but other than that I thought, well, hello young one. You're out for the world. And I feel like that's definitely when spring's about to come, because the bees come out.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Oh, was it a
daffodils
big
as
fluffy
well.
bee though? Like the
Yeah,
really
like it was
cute
a big,
ones.
massive, fluffy bee. And I mean, don't get me wrong, like I know it's not gonna like have like some weird vendetta against me like wasps do. Um, but honestly, like I saw it and I thought, oh, it's nice that, isn't it? Because I think that's a really weird thing to think of when you see a bee. Oh, that's nice. But I generally looked at it and thought, the seasons are changing. But I was on my own, so I said it out loud, and I felt a bit kind of like,
I
well,
feel like that's a really old person thought.
oh
That's
god, it is, yeah, isn't
nice.
it?
That's a nice bee.
Yeah, like I'm not 30, I'm 60. Like I will wake up and be like, but I'm definitely one of those people though, like in the summer, my favourite thing in the summer is, when you wake up and it's already like warm. And my favourite thing then is to like just go outside into my back garden and like with a cup of tea. And I don't know whether it's just whether 30-year-olds do this or that I just do it. And I just stand there with a cup of tea, or even if it's just like a glass of water, and I'll be like, that's nice, this. And I feel like, and then I go, oh, can't wait for the can't wait for the lawn the gardener to come and do the lawn, so it gets all spruced up. I feel like maybe that is quite an old person thing to say.
That really, really is.
Well, I went from 29 to 69 in a majority of hours, I think.
And while we're on that subject, listeners, she hid it from me. She hid that it was her 30th. She just sprung it on me on the day, and I don't think she was even going to tell me. And I was like, excuse me? You've turned 30? And she was like, well, I didn't want to do anything. So I didn't want to make a big deal. I was like, but you've turned 30. You have joined the crew.
I know. And I think I remember, I think we were supposed to record that day. And I was like, oh, do I say something? And then, but I think like the whole week leading up to 30, and I don't know whether it's just me that has some sort of crisis when they hit their birthday, but I was like 30, and then I try and remember the years in between from 21 to 30, and it all seems like a bit of a haze. Like, I generally don't know where I went, but I'm really weird with my birthdays. Like, even my mum messaged me, and she was like, hey, what do you want for your birthday? Give it a think. I'll message you in a couple of days. And then I think, like, I didn't message her back because I'm rude. And I thought, I'll have a think, and then I'll message her, because I'm not going to message her like, yeah, okay. Anyway, so I messaged her and said, oh, don't worry about it. Like, I don't want any, trouble about it. Like, too much has gone on recently. Like, I just want to maybe, like, get me some liposuction or something. Like, I don't know. But, just let's not think about the birthday. And then...
some real realistic presents you want there, then.
But obviously, I mean, going into 30 skinny would be nice. But I didn't get that. I didn't get that from my mum. Didn't offer to pay for me to go to Turkey either, so each
I
the
can
room.
see you've got your normal teeth in, so you're good.
Oh yeah. I'm still winning on those ones, but no. To be fair, I did have a nice birthday, and I did end up doing some things. But I feel like I hit 30, and I remember having a conversation many years back now, where I was in a job interview, and they're like, "Oh, how old are you?" And I said 21. And then I remember having a job interview probably about 6 months ago and realising I'm not. And I was about to say 21, and I don't know why I was about to say 21. But then I was like, oh God, yeah, I'm 29. And I think it hit me at that moment that I was 29 years old, and I was like, And I think just an accidental crisis just carried on from there, really. But I do enjoy birthdays, but I think, like, ever since having a child, and I think everyone says it's about Christmas, but I'm not a Scrooge, but I think birthdays are, like, the most important for children. So I think, like, I'd rather celebrate.
No.
Yeah.
Christmas is for children. Your birthdays are yours.
I know, but I feel like, there's... I remember my sister turned 21, right? And everyone knows how it is. You always have a big party for your 21st. And my dad was like, what do you want to do for your birthday? No doubt she got a new car, obviously. And then we had this, like, small marquee set up in the back garden. And loads of people, family who I hadn't even seen, by the way, for, like, 10 years came to this thing. And I remember, like, my sister being like, oh, it's about me, it's me, look at me. I'm wearing this brand new dress and it's about me. And if I remember rightly, due to my own fault, I spent my 21st birthday with a bottle of wine and a day-old pizza, with the box set of Friends, and the only season I had was season 4. I don't know what happened to the rest of the box set, don't ask. I don't know where it went. I'm sure somebody robbed it that lived with me at the time. And that's how I spent my 21st. So, but my sister's always been big on birthdays. Like, you can't not say happy birthday, because she'll message and be like, it's 6:00 in the morning, where's my happy birthday message? And I'm just like, and I pick up my phone and I get happy birthday messages, and I'm like, oh, it's so nice people are thinking of me. But to be fair, this is the first year that I think a lot more people have remembered my birthday. Like, it was really weird. Like, I was getting messages of my brother, and I was like, I've not messaged you for 6 months, but cheers for that.
Oh no, birthdays they're meant to be the one day of the year where it is about you. Not in a narcissistic sense, just as in, well no, it totally is. All about me. And you should enjoy it. I mean, I get the 30 thing though, because, at 30, it punches you in the gut. It does. It's no matter what. And you go past it and you're like, all right, drama queen to yourself. But it's a big birthday. It feels humongous. So I can understand wanting to kind of go, well, don't worry about it. But I cried continuously through my 30th. Continuously. I woke up, literally opened my eyes and went, and then, I think normally I think I stay at someone's house the night before so I don't wake up alone. But I didn't because I had a little get together. It was just like in COVID, so it was like 2021. So there was still bits of like, restrictions and stuff like that. So I had to, we did a fancy dress party in my sister's back garden with my family. Because, that's what every 30-year-old does.
Oh, obviously.
And I went as Batgirl because, yeah, I absolutely have that physique. Is that physique? Physique. I rocked it. But, so I had to get ready and paint my Batgirl mask onto my face. But I cried it off 3 times.
Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of people don't, like, I think men are like, I'm 30, and, like, I had that with my brothers. Like, I don't think they've hit an age yet where they're like, oh, God, I'm this age. But I do think women take the age thing very differently sometimes. And I think, like, that's put into perspective. I think, like, my mum turned, like, 62. Like, it was in September, actually. My mum turned 62, and she does that thing. I don't know if your mum does it, and I know a lot of mums do it. She goes, oh no, I'm only 30. And I just think, well, if you feel like you're 30, that's okay. But she hates getting birthday cards with the numbers on.
Oh, no.
That's like her worst. Like, that's like a rule in our house, is you do not get her a birthday card with the number of her birthday on, because she will like kick you out instinctively. She'll like, get out, go.
See, I'd do it on purpose. If that was a rule, I'd do it on purpose.
I know, but then I don't want to get kicked out because I want cake. So
that's fair. No, my mum's not like that. My mum's the opposite. So she doesn't think she's younger. I think she thinks she's about 94. So, I've only got so many years left. And all right, happy days. I might not be here for my 70th, you know that. I'm just trying to, like, ease it into you. You're trying to ease in the death of my mother. Yeah, that's going to work. That's my mum. So, yeah, we don't get that. And she doesn't mind the old numbers. But, yeah, I think my mum has always seen herself as 10 years older than she ever actually is. So, yeah, she's the opposite end.
Well, my nan was really weird. Like, my nan loved birthdays. But she'd do this thing, and I think she's been doing it since she was, like, as long as I can remember. She'd always say, oh, I could be dead next year. Oh, I could be dead next year. I'm going to give you this £5 note this today because I could be dead next week. Oh, I could be dead on your birthday. And I'm like, and I'd look at my mum and be like, is this normal? Is this what adults do? Like, is this what I will become? Will I, like, when my child has grandchildren, will I be, like, ironing, like, £5 notes to send to them? But, like, 4 at a time, because I don't know if I'm going to be here for Christmas. Like...
Did your nan used to sellotape coins into your card?
My nan didn't, but my granddad did, because he hated paper. Like, he was, like, a big phobia of, like, the note. And he'd hate it when people would, like, get on the bus with a note and then make the bus driver give them coins back. But I've been on the bus with once in my life I ever went on the bus with this man. And he, youngish girl was like, I've only got a tenner. And the bus driver was like, yeah, that's fine, I'll get change. But the bus driver was like fumbling around. And my granddad was like, well, this is why I don't carry notes. This is the reason why you should have the exact change all the time, every time. And people just looked back at him, and I just thought, one, at the time, it was quite embarrassing because I thought, oh my God. But then as I grew up, I do think that my granddad had the exact coins for everything all the time.
No, my that wasn't my nan's reasoning for putting coins in, but I like your granddad's reasoning. I mean, it's not possible to have the right change at the right moment every single time, but fair play. I appreciate his enthusiasm for it, because it is really annoying waiting for someone ahead of you while they've given notes or whatever on the bus. But no, it was because, so if you were 21, she'd want to give you £21. So she'd give you a £20 note and then stick a pound in, or if you were 18, whatever. So occasionally you'd get coins. Huh?
The energy that would take to stick. Because if that was me, I would just do it out of being, a twat. I'd be like, but I wouldn't do £20 note and a coin. I'd do coins just to make a point of like, this is 20. And it'd be so heavy. I'd be like, oh, there's loads of money in here. No, just got the coins.
Oh no, my nan, bless her. She had her ways and she stuck to them. Oh God, I would kill to have a card with a coin sellotape to it. She had this thing where if she couldn't find a card with the right number on it, or not with a number on it at all, she would just buy the card she want and then go buy stickers. Yeah. To put the numbers on. Yeah. And it's little things that you don't really don't think about at the time, but then when you don't get them anymore, it's like, I'd love a card with some stickers on it, or some coins, or some weird stuff. Like she'd give you £1 with if she bought you a purse or a handbag or something, there'd be £1 in it. Yeah.
I think that was just something.
It's those little things.
Yeah, sorry. I think that was just a thing that, and I don't know what it is, because my nan used to do that, and my friend did that actually. She got me a purse once for my birthday, and she put £1 in it. I was like, why have you put £1 in it? And I think it's like an old time thing or something. It used to be like, it's meant
to be bad luck. Yeah, if you don't put money in a purse, it's bad luck.
Maybe that's why mine's empty, because I got a new one and I never stuck £1 in it.
Yeah, no, you have to put £1. You have to put money. It doesn't have to be £1. It just, you have to put money in it. In order to. Speaking of money, I have to tell you my little story today. So my brain goes from one story to the next, especially on a bus ride to work. And I'm on the bus, and I was like, oh, this is in my head, by the way, internal monologue. I was going, oh, it'd be so nice if I could just find a bag of money or a rolled up, stash of notes or whatever. That'd be really nice right now. Okay. Anyway, day went on, and I went outside to have a quick vape, and I'm leaning against the wall outside my office, and there's £1.50 on the wall, and I was like, that's not what I meant, but I'll take it.
I was expecting maybe £20,000, but £1.50 will do me.
It bought me a bottle of Pepsi, and I'm happy with that.
You know what, though? That's quite criminal. And I have to say this, and I don't know this, I think this is going to be a podcast of odd topics. That is criminal. I'm not even joking, right? I am the connoisseur of monsters. And I will probably have, on a bad day, I'll have 3. On a good day, I'll just have one of those, big ones, the large ones. Mm-hmm. And I remember, and I don't know whether I'd been living under a rock. I don't know. Maybe I had been. Or maybe I just couldn't afford to get Monsters, so I just kept on getting the 15p energy drinks. At the time, they were 15p. It's going back. And then I remember just one day, just walking to the corner shop, I'm like, do you know what? I'm gonna treat myself to a Monster. And they did used to be £1, by the way. They did. Same as Relentless. Anyway, went to the shop that I used to go to, live around the corner again. Oh, £1.65. £1.65. And I thought, oh my God, okay, I'll pay it. It's a treat. My God. And then when the bigger cans came out, I think they were reduced for a while because they were like promotional, you know. Now they're like £2.30. I could get a bus around like where I live the whole way around that, even to Chester, for £2.30. And I just thought, like, oh my God. And I'm honest, I love Pepsi Max Cherry. I mean, it's a general issue, to be honest. Like, I have some form of weird connection with the drink. But I can't justify the price. So, like, I'll go to the shop that sells, like, two for, like, £2 something. And then I'll be like, I'll look at the price of what it's signaling, like, that. And I won't even be speaking to someone. I'll just say it out loud. That is criminal. That is an offence. Lock these people up. And I made friends with the woman that works in the shop due to this conversation. And we actually speak every single day now. And I see her randomly in the streets as well. And but I made friends with her because I remember saying, but I must have said it out loud. And I think it was like a carton of Ribena. I was getting it for my son. And it was like £1 something. And I must have said it. I've said out loud, I was like, that is ridiculous. I remember when Ribena was 35p. And she must have heard me. She had a conversation, and we spoke about the tragicness of, and I know that it's all about the costing and whatever, and, you know, things have gone up. But my God, like, to put up a child's drink by, like, what's technically 80-90p is ridiculous. Like, a child needs a drink, and you want me to, like, and then there's the shops, though, that go, oh, you can't get anything unless you spend over £2-3. And you're like, well, my child wants a drink. What am I meant to do? You've not got coins in you. Do I look like I'm come pre-prepared with coins, sir? I'm offered my phone to beepity beep, and you're asking me if I have coins. But I think I just get angry about those things, which it seems quite irrelevant at some point, but it just angers.
No, but that's so British. It's like, for the American listeners, like I think the Brits will establish or work out how bad inflation is by fredos.
Yeah.
Because they were like 5p. And fredos are little chocolate frogs. That's all they are. And now they're like something like 50p?
No, they're more than that.
Are they?
Yeah, I went into the
I haven't had a
BP
Freddo in
garage
years.
when I topped up my car the other day. Well, the other week, actually.
Oh, no, but a BP garage is the worst.
No, but
it's
even
always
then,
the worst.
Right. I personally don't think they're that bad. I think some people see prices of them and they go, oh. And I know everything in a garage is, like, so much put up, which is ridiculous. Anyway, and I saw a Freddo, and I thought it was about 75p, 80p, and I thought, that, and I think a Milky Way was cheaper. And I was like, that is an abomination. And I made friends with the girl across the desk for that as well. Because I said to her, I went up to her and said, is this a serious price of a Freddo? And she said, yeah. And then from then on,
I'm going to sound really elderly now. But when I was young, my mum would give me £1 and off I'd go to the shop and I'd get a Freddo. I'd get loads of stuff.
Yeah.
I'd come back with a whole stash with £1. Now, I think what's that? So a Freddo and... Is that it? Is that all you can get for £1? Then is a 75p Freddo.
I think it depends where you go. But I think penny sweets have gone up as well. But I remember when I used to go clubbing and I could go out, and this wasn't even because people would buy me drinks, but I could go out with like 20 quid and get drunk, mortally drunk off my own money. And now I went on a work night out this about 2 years ago. Oh my God, I'm getting old. And I remember going into this club that I'd been in when I was like 18, by the way. And, well, I got dragged there, actually. I didn't really want to go because it's disgusting. Anyway, and I remember them saying, oh, it's blah, blah, blah for 2 drinks. I was like, what? And the people were looking at me kind of bewildered. And I was like, it's £7 for one of them and £8. I was like, you are... And my friend was like, don't do it. Just don't do it. And I was like, okay, I'll pay it. And I turned around and said, that is a disgrace. And I said, I don't know what this music is either. But honestly, like, the price of it was absolutely unruly. Like, I just, like, and even when I'm on a tangent, I don't know whether it's like this around yours, but it's now like this in Cornwall as well. You have to pay to use a public toilet.
Well, that's always been around in certain areas, especially London, because that's where the phrase "spend a penny" comes from. But it's gone up in price because it's not a penny to go have a poo
No,
anymore.
it's nearly a
It
pound.
is.
It's nearly a
Oh
pound.
no!
I went to Liverpool. I'm not even being funny. I hold it in now, unless like I just pretend, like I'll just say, I'll go into a restaurant and say my son's used the toilet. They can't deprive a child of the toilet. But I went and I remember going, and I said to because my son has to use the disabled toilet, and I said to the security guard, look, this is a disabled toilet needing the situation. Like, my son needs the toilet. And the guy behind me really nicely paid. And I said to him, you should not be paying £2 to go to the toilet. It is a free will situation. And I know it's not, but I'm so for a free will situation. If I have to pay for something of a bodily function, I expect it to be free.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they make, because where it is in Liverpool city centre, and anybody who listens to us who is from Liverpool, it's in like a food court. So they must make like £5,000 a day just stop people needing the toilet. Not the food.
The toilet alone,
The toilet.
yeah. I've only ever known it in two places. One in like a station in London, like Victoria or wherever. I don't know. I can't remember a specific one. And then one when I was at Weston-super-Mare a couple of years ago, and it was one of the toilets that's on the beach. And I kind of understood that one because it was on its own. It wasn't near anything. It wasn't attached to like a restaurant. And I guess that they used that to pay for its cleaning. But when we got in there, I was like, wow, this is a shit show.
Yeah.
What is my money going to? Like, had a very angry wee and left. But I was like, there is sand on the toilet seat. This is a disgrace.
It is
I went
weird
full
though,
British.
isn't it? It is weird. Like in Cornwall now, they close the toilets like on the beaches because it's not the season. People who do go down there go down really early in the morning with the dogs. So, I understand why they close the toilets. But I'm just like, well, what happens if, like, you go down, you go for a cup of tea? Because they're not cafes, they're just on the beach things. You have a bit of breakfast, maybe a sandwich, and you're like, oh, I could do with a poo. No, you got to walk up a hill to go back to your house or your hotel. And I'm telling you something now, like, some of that food, with it being cooked on a beach, ain't always that lovely, mate. I'll tell you that now. So, and honestly, to me, you walk down to town. If I was, when I was in Cornwall, so I went for New Year, didn't I? I'd walk down to town, and we'd have a little walk around, whatever. And then I'd say to my son, if you need the toilet, you need to go now. I said, because once we start up that hill, and I lose my breath and I black out, we are not walking back down for you to go to the toilet. I said, there's a bush over there. Halfway up, there's a bush. If you can make it halfway up, go to the toilet there, mate. I'm not even joking. And I remember he turned around to me once, and I knew he was about to say it. And I said, don't you dare. I said, get to the top of that hill, mate. I said, because we are not going back down to the toilet. I'm not paying £1.50 to go for a wee. Criminal.
Did we really just have like a 10-minute rant about toilets?
I think, you know what, but I think it's actually needed, and I think so many people could be like, yeah, I get that. I just, honestly,
It's terrible that they charge you for that. But then, do you know what? They charge you for tampons and sanitary towels. So, are we really surprised that they charge you to go for a poo? I mean, I can actually vouch and say this with my hand on my heart and mean it. I have never done that in a public toilet. I'm completely poo shy. So,
well, when
I
you
will
have children,
die.
when you have a child, okay, that time when you think, okay, well, I've just had a child to go for a walk, I'm feeling okay, and you decide the best thing to do is have a morning coffee, because you think your gut's feeling better. Don't do that. Don't do that, because it's not true. And
Noted. number 67 on my list of not to have children. I mean, I tell you what, considering what we were originally planning to talk about in this pod, right, and whether we get there is a different matter, but it couldn't be a more further away conversation to the glitz and glamour
It's just a
of the
reintroduction.
award ceremonies.
It's been a couple of weeks. Things have been happening.
Sod it, let's just do it. So yeah, and I was saying about the award ceremony. So that's what we've been doing, isn't it, for the last like couple of days? Because it's been award season for what, the last month or so.
Yeah.
With everything going on, the Oscars, the Brits, the SAG Awards, there's been loads. I've never been particularly into award ceremonies. I dipped into them over the years, but this year I found them all really fascinating. I don't know about you, but I don't know, they just feel like they're full of drama.
I feel like we definitely spoke about it before, didn't we? And I just like prior to this we spoke about it, and I'll repeat it even if it gives me hate. Like, I just think again, this time round this year, for some reason they are just hyped up normal people this year. Like, there was drama, but it was just like, I don't know, like half of it was like kind of glitz, kind of glam, but then half of it was just like, you know, the younger generation turning up in t-shirt and jeans and kind of being like, oh well, you know, this is the fashion now, this is what and I don't know, like, it just, this year compared to a few years I've I've not fully watched it all the time, but it's always felt like a bigger deal for, like, you know, for quite a few years. Like, it felt like quite a big deal, but this year they've just seemed to have like skimmed like a lot of kind of what, you know, was good. Like, I mean, I know that they did a Gossip Girl bit, which was really, really funny. I don't know if you've seen that.
I didn't. What was that? The Oscars or?
I think it was the Oscars. I'm not sure, but they had Blair, and they had what's her name? Legally Blonde. She's like,
Reese Witherspoon.
They had Reese Witherspoon, and they did a short skit of Gossip Girl. But I mean, like, the whole thing just, I think they do parts where they think they're funny and they'll like grate on people and they'll like make jokes and things like that. But I feel like they're trying to, I just miss when they just used to give the awards out. Like, just give the awards out. Why are you trying to do the rest of it? Just hand it over. This, like, you know, and part of me is thinking, like, some people like guide on that, don't they? Not just the Oscars, but the Brits, and they want this Brit Award, and they want to be the best actress or the best actor, and they will literally, like, and I do love it when you see the faces of people that lose, though, because they try and be like, oh yes, well done, and then you see some of them like, you know, like.
Is it like Friends with Joey?
Yes.
When he gets his award, like, you need to do your graceful loser's face. Oh right, yes. Does his little clap, and then when it actually comes to it, you just see him like swearing and slamming onto the table.
And I feel like that's really funny because I feel like there's a lot more now. There's a younger generation going into the acting. I feel like there's a lot more malice between actors sometimes, and I feel like they don't take it as gracefully as what they did back then, which had to be quite graceful. But even I think like Selena Gomez won for the murder in oh my god, what's it called? Murder in the Apartment Building or something. And
something like that.
She was like, she was shocked. She was like, what? Like, I'm actually getting something. I don't know if that was the Brits or something, but she was like, I'm actually getting something for this. Like,
see, I thought that was overacting. I didn't think that was her shock. That was her like going, I need to look as graceful as possible, so I'm going to go.
But it didn't look graceful. It just looked like, you know, she'd like, you know, oh my god, like, it just looked as if she was like. And it's even when Beyonce won, what was it? She won an award, didn't she, for an album that didn't even come out?
Oh, her country one.
Yeah. And she was like,
Yeah.
that's a bit weird since it's not been released. So,
But wasn't that the one where Billie Eilish was like crying and everyone on the internet went a bit crazy over it?
yeah.
Um, you saying about the, when they win and everything, it was, and the gracious like loser face or whatever. It was. I can't say his name, so I'm gonna give the name that I've given him, and hopefully you'll know who I mean.
Okay.
But it's Timothy Shamalama Lama Ding Dong, whatever his name is.
That's one way of
Whenever,
saying it.
however, his winning face was like, I don't care. It was like,
Yeah.
all right, and I was like, all right, you've just won an award. At least look like you're pleased for it.
I think he's not to be sued by his company, but I think he's a bit up himself. Like, I
Oh, he
think he
is.
knows that he's done quite well in a very short period of time, that he's actually had his name known. And so now getting a award to him, he's like, well, I should get it. Like, I smashed that part. And it's like, oh. And I feel really annoyed by that, because I just think, well, you're lucky to have been a part of something that only a normal person as myself would dream of being. Like, I'm not even being funny. If I won an Oscar, I'd be like, y'all are going to hear about this for the next 10 years. This will be my
Gonna pull a
story to
Halle
my
Berry.
grandkids. Like,
Yes,
I will
absolutely.
sing a song to each and every one of you because I got an award. And I think he was a bit like, yeah, well, And I was a bit like, is it because you're trying to be like, not humbled, or you're just trying to be like, oh, I'm really excited, but I don't want to share it? But even then, like, he
Yeah.
was just so unexcited that it was like, okay, well, I'll just go and give this to, like, the bartender over there, and maybe he'll show some more, like, compassion over an award. But, I mean, everyone, I think there's so much drama that involves a lot of celebrities right now that I don't think they're even excited to be part of it, because when coming into the limelight, it then they're then exposed to having
Yeah.
their dramas kind of put on screen.
So
And
much.
I think it's really funny, because I don't know, I think it was on SNL or something, and Ryan Reynolds, they were taking the piss out of Ryan Reynolds and the Blake Lively situation, of where
Yeah.
Blake went a bit too far, and they know that they've messed up royally in their careers. Potentially they've been cancelled. And I think it was funny for Ryan to stand up and be like, well, what have you been told? Like, he tried to make a joke out of his very awkward situation that's then publicly aired, because you would, in that situation, you've got someone that you can publicly air it out, and someone can make a joke out of it publicly. And he dealt with it really, really well, actually. Even though he shouldn't have dealt with it that way. But I suppose it's better than storming off and not acknowledging the situation. But, like, yeah, I feel like there was a lot of tension between actors this year. Like, they weren't as
Felt
friendly,
that way.
were they? Like, I feel like normally
No.
actors and creators and singers are quite friendly towards each other, and I feel like there was definitely the division of, well, this is my team, this is your team, this is my team, and I don't feel like there was many group interactions of that. I think it was very like, just take a picture, let me go. And
Yeah. But I think that's like I don't particularly enjoy watching the ceremony itself.
no,
I enjoy the red carpet, any gossip I can find. I enjoy those aspects. So I don't know if celebrities know that. Like, so they need to get their outfits out there on that red carpet, getting their money, getting their money's worth, whatever, doing what they know that the people want, and then the ceremony is just kind of an added thing that they got to do, get a free meal out of it. I don't know.
well, I feel like this isn't a part of the awards, but I don't know if you heard about the Matt Lucas thing with Millie Bobby Brown.
No.
So it was really funny, actually. It was really, really funny. But Millie made a big dramatic scene, as she has done quite a few times about things. And Matt Lucas saw a picture of Millie Bobby Brown in a pink tracksuit, and it said that it reminded him of Vicky Pollard.
Oh no.
And I I do see how she could be maybe a bit offended, but she went on TikTok and she made a video being like, how can you offend someone like that? And, you know, we're all meant to be professionals. And you pointed out, and then obviously Matt Lucas, the champion that he is, was like, okay, I'll make an apology statement towards you. But oh my gosh, like, he was making a joke about your outfit. Like, how many times do people walk down the street and nobody loves all that? But it's the fact that, like, she just, if she was to stand back, put her on account to the state, it would have been a funny kind of like edit of a photo, but she just took it so far to heart.
To be fair, I'm not standing up for her because that's like total wimpy behaviour, but she is... I know she looks 10 years older than she is, but she's only, what, 21? 20?
Yeah, so she is really, really young.
Yeah,
But she's
and she's
married.
grown up in a very little bubble. Yeah, she is married, but, you know, she's grown up in a bubble where everyone is yes people. We're like, oh, Millie, you're so amazing.
Yeah,
Millie, you're so
yeah.
beautiful. Blah, 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 blah. And she's now an adult, probably with that same mentality. And so the second that someone goes, well, actually, she's like, what? What
Well,
do you
that's what
mean?
she made that statement on her video, was that I've been grown up in the public eye. But in all fairness, and I think this goes for many children actors, once your parents put you in the public eye and you're chosen to do what is actually a phenomenon on TV. I mean, Stranger Things is such a massive thing, and people live their lives by the Hellfire Club. Is that what do you expect? What do you expect in that situation? But you allowed yourself to also be brought up in that situation. You had the money to prove that you did well. And just because somebody made a joke about a pink tracksuit, it's not going to end your career. Just take it with a pinch of salt, like everyone else needs to.
No, the thing is, I know as much as she's English, she's not really, let's face it. Like, she's got the accent and everything else, but she is very Americanized.
Yeah,
And
she's
I
settled
don't...
in America now, I think, yeah.
Yeah. And American... Is Americanized a word? I'm using it. But, and they don't do the bants that the Brits do.
No.
Not like, you know, our love language is to subtly bully everyone. That is just what we do. And Americans do not get that. They're just like, oh my God, you're being so mean. And I'm
Yes.
like, we're not.
Yeah. Like, how could
We're
you
not.
be so mean? Like, in America, it's like you boom box up by the window and running in the rain. In England, it's like, well, you look rough today. Like, it's a total different language to people. And I think it's the same in Australia, actually. I remember going to school and we had some girls from Australia come over. And we were all quite mean to each other in school. I mean, was it sometimes a little bit passive aggressive? Yeah. But most of the time it was jokes. And they'd be like, you're so mean to each other. Like, you know, why would you say that she looks really ugly in that skirt? And like, you know, if she like sits down anymore, then it'll just be like, you know, and we'd have to say to them, like, you dude, you need to chill. Like, we're not saying it as in like, you know, like, so, you know, we'd wake up with like really bad hair and you'd be like, oh, have you brushed your hair today? You look really bad. But we wouldn't do it in like a really horrible way. We would do it as a joke. And I think because we are so brutal, that if you're not brutal, it sounds even worse than that.
No. I've had this discussion on my TikTok lives many a times because I've got quite a mix of followers, and I've always said that if I like you, I will well offend you essentially. if I don't like you, I'll be nice as pie.
Yeah.
If I'm being nice as pie with you, I don't like you. But if I'm calling you an ugly trollop, then I'm your best mate.
It's fair though, but I think like, I don't know, like I feel like she just took it too personally. And like, if that was me in that situation, I'd be like, it was a pink tracksuit. And that is the inch of the mess that she's made of herself anyway. I mean, yes, she is like one of the main people in Stranger Things, but some of the cast hated her for a short while because she was trying to be so outgoing and so outstanding that she actually like overruled some of them sometimes. Like, she would always be front and centre because that's where she wanted to be, not because that's where she was placed. So I think,
No.
like, it's great that you have that that spirit to be that kind of forward, but she just, you know, it was a pink tracksuit, man. That's all I can say. It was a pink tracksuit. And compared to the fashion that was going down that red carpet the past couple of weeks, anyway, I mean, some of it, I don't care if it's Dolce & Gabbana. I don't care if it's, like, Dior. I don't care if it's, like, some of the best handmade silk options. Some of you look absolutely disastrous. Like, I've just got that image of, I can't cope, of Will Smith's son wearing a house on his head.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. And I don't even know what that was meant to mean. What was that meant to signify?
I don't even know. I think he says there was a significance, but I just saw a boy with a house on his head, and I couldn't come back. Like, I just saw it and thought, if that was me and I was walking around with a house on my head because someone told me that was fashion, I'd probably have, like, potatoes thrown at me where I'm from. Like, I can't, and I'm not being, I'm coming after Nicola Coughlan. Don't get me wrong, the dress, absolutely divine. Absolutely divine.
Which one are we talking about here? The SAG Award one?
The blue one.
Oh, with the black gloves.
But why was she wearing jewellery over long black gloves? What was that about?
Because that jewellery is worth more than your house. That's why.
Right, yeah, and I'm sure it was. That was not it. I'm sorry. They're going for gloves for her. Why?
She loves a glove. She loves a glove.
Yeah, but I don't care if she loves a glove. It's not it. It's not it. Like, the whole outfit was great, and she looked like, if you take the gloves away, she looked elegant and poised. The gloves, I think, were meant to give her edge, but I'm not being funny. She spent half the night pulling them up, and then, I'm not being funny, where's she going to put that jewellery when she's got to go to the toilet? Because she's got to take those gloves off sometime, Dan.
She did take them off. There's pictures of her. There's pictures of her without the gloves, so she definitely took it off at some point.
Yeah, so where did she put the jewellery? In a pouch? In a purse to keep it safe?
Because I don't know. Maybe she put them back on underneath, like, as in, once the gloves are off, she put them back on her skin.
Yeah, but if that was me, I'm not even being funny, and I got drunk and one of them, those gloves would be ripped off and the jewellery with it, and I would not know where those tens of thousands pieces of items would have gone, because, and I loved it, but it just wasn't me. Like, she's always slayed with the outfits, right? But
she's quite outlandish, though, isn't she?
But I'm going to go quite back to Ireland and, Dublin. Well, you know, anyway, and the gloves of her last, she had her last interview, and
the yellow marigold thing,
and that was disgraceful.
Yeah, they're not her best, but she does like a glove. It was like the one once she wore blue, and it was like she was in hospital scrubs, and then the other one was the marigold. I didn't mind the black gloves at this one. I quite liked them. That was my thing on it. I think it was one of her best looks. But I know many people that disagree with me. So even my own mother was like, "What's she wearing? Why is she wearing that? That's not her style. Why she got that on?" You know. But I thought although I think she should have worn her hair down. But other than that, I really like the outfit. But then what do I know?
And Luke Newton. What did he... It's so different this time. Again, a vest and a suit. Can't get much more different for him, can it? I mean, come on. Come on, Luke. I know what you're going to say, Dan, and I know he's your prize and your joy, but the man has no alternative fashion.
No, but he went to an event like 2 weeks before, to Beckham's Boss event, right? And yeah, he was wearing a similar thing, but in brown, but it didn't hit. This
was black.
Oh my God. It was exquisite. His little transgender symbol thing I thought was amazing. His little medallion, the whole thing, the chest hair. You know, I'm a big fan of the chest hair. And it was chef's kiss, and I think he really does rock the baggy trouser thing. I know we've discussed this before with the baggy trousers.
No, I have nothing wrong. I have nothing wrong with a fresh pressed pair of trousers. Okay, I've nothing wrong with them. He looked sharp. They sat where they were meant to sit. I've nothing wrong with that, pal. Nothing wrong, right? What comes to mind for me is that one picture. He is in Spain or somewhere, and he's with the 7-foot security guard. He's wearing that awful white netted jumper, and the jeans
Looks too big for him. Yeah.
look like, literally, I'm really sorry. It looks like someone went,
Are you?
"You've made a mess of your trousers, stick these on." And it looks like someone's just been rolling over the back of them. Like, I'm all for, wear those fresh press, Luke. Wear them all you like, bud. They are good for your leg. He doesn't do skinny. We've seen him in skinny. He doesn't do skinny. But not when you're taking pictures and it looks like the feral cats of Spain have just been tearing at the end of the hem of your trousers. But he looked shorter because the trousers were so low.
No, I'll give you that. I'll give you that for that outfit.
So unproportioned because the trousers
I'll give
were
you
horrible.
that one. I will give you that one, to be fair. And I will say one thing against his SAG Award outfit. I know it's slayed in every possible way, in my opinion. But, and I've had this problem with his outfits before, and it's because it's really fashionable at the moment. I've seen so many men on red carpets wear them. It's these oversized shoes.
Oh, I
like,
love
why
them.
are you wearing these clown shoes? I don't get the style. It's like they look like they're too big for you.
But I love them on women, though. Like, I love the wide leg jean. Like, I'm short, okay? And every time I get a pair of jeans that are like barrel or wide leg, if I don't get them shortened or I don't get a shorter size, I look ridiculous, right? But I'm a fan of the high shoe, the high platform trainers. And when I put them on, I'm not going to lie, I look stunning, look amazing. I'm not going to toot me in horn, but the outfit I've got on, slay, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I get it with men, though. Like, I feel like if you're going to wear... If his trousers were narrower and he wore them, it looks stupid. Do you know what I mean? But because they were wider and they had more of a flow, the shoe I got... If he'd picked up that that leg for a second to scratch his knee or something, and you just saw him wearing stupid little suit shoes, just picture it in your head for a minute, right? Everyone do it with me. Close your eyes. I mean, I'm looking at you. Close your eyes.
I am closed.
Yeah, I'm looking at you. Everyone do it with me. Luke's there with his baggy trousers. He lifts his leg up to itch his knee, and he lifts his pant. No, Dan. And he lifts his pant up, and he's wearing a stupid suit shoe, a flat, stupid suit. And imagine he's walking around in them with a little point on the end. He's gonna look absolutely ridiculous. That platform and that chunk, it's a vibe of it.
I get you. I just don't like the shoe, but I totally get what you mean. Yeah, no, it's just I just don't like the shoe. It's just a me thing. I'm just like, it's like you're wearing clown shoes, and I think I've got a bit of an ick against clowns in general. So
I think you're gonna hate me though, because when we eventually meet up, it's you're gonna look at my shoes and be like, well, I know she's short, but she's lied about her height. Because
no, it's just on the men.
Like,
it's not on the women. Not on
men.
the women. Just men. It's just weird.
Maybe he was feeling short that day.
Maybe, but he was next to Nicola most of the night during the SAG Awards, so he can't have felt
we're not
that
getting
short.
into that. We're not doing that. People
I'm
have
just saying.
absolutely gone into it, and I have watched video after video, and I feel like it's a cult at the moment. And like, if you don't believe that they're together, and I feel like they look at you through the camera trying to brainwash you, you will believe that Luke Newton and Nicola Coughlan are together. And I'm just like, I can't get into it. I can't. And I feel like that is for another podcast.
Love.
It's not true love. It's true friendship.
Okay.
Wait. And being honestly, you could do something really nice, and I could look at you in a loving way. But I'm not in love with you.
Why
I'm
not?
not like, oh my God, that girl is the love of my life, right?
So
I'm
you
just
should.
looking at you going, that's a really thoughtful thing that she's just done. She's saying, no, an old man helped another old woman today at Asda because her wheelchair wheel was stuck on the escalator going up. I looked at him and I thought, that's really nice. But did I look at him and go, I'm in love with you? That man right
Yeah,
there.
but did he try and hold her hand? That's all I'm saying. Did he try to hold her hand? Did he look lovingly into her eyes? No, I don't think he did. Don't pick a story that doesn't match.
I think this is another. I think that the whole podcast has to be done on it because I just think that, you know, because they've been spotted together with the other halves, happy that everyone's like, nah.
No, I agree with you. I'm not that crazy. I'm crazy, but not quite that bad. They're absolutely with their partners, but I love seeing them together. You know that. But anyway, before we go off on that tangent, going back to the fashion, I have to talk about Ariana Grande, right? I have to. Because obviously she's been on quite a few red carpets in the last month.
Yeah.
Every time wearing the same colour.
Yeah.
All right. You're not Glenda anymore. You can wear other colours, Ariana. You look great, but pick some different colours. You're not a fairy. Please. I beg of you.
I think it's so hard. I think that is so hard. One, because she did a tour after Wicked, right? And that was her colour. And they had to stick with that. That was emotion. But I don't love it and I don't hate it, but I get it. Like, I go through colour phases of my life. So I went through brown, I've gone through black, I've gone through, like, dark green. And I think if you're styled that way for a certain amount of time, I think in your brain you just automatically think you look quite good with that colour. I think it washes her out completely.
That's what I was going to say.
It has damaged her. Like, she used to be quite tan, though. Am I wrong?
Do you know what I think it is? It's the hair colour, where she's gone this really light blonde.
Yeah.
With her skin tone, and then with these pinks, these very light pinks, it does drain her. So if she was to have the dark hair again, with her, you know, with the current skin tan or whatever, and the pinks, she would look significantly better. But I think it's the colours are all, her skin tone, her hair, and the dresses are all very similar.
Yeah, but I could say that about Nicola Coughlan. Nicola Coughlan goes to the same style every time, and I personally sometimes think that it doesn't suit her.
No, I think you're bang on. There's been quite a few outfits I've gone, no, that's not hitting the mark there, Nick. But no, I think Ariana's beautiful, right? Yeah. She is. But there's just been, please, just change the colour palette up just a little bit. Just a little bit, because it's drawing her out. And we did discuss this yesterday together, about there's been so much speculation online in regards to her weight and everything. And, you know, I'm not a fan of anyone talking about anyone's weight, whether that's because they're too slim or because they're too big. It's either way is sick, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I do think that actually half of the issue with that is because where, like you said, it washes her out. Yeah. That will make you look drawn in as well. So that's going to add to the general effect of how she looks. You know, don't get me wrong, I think she has lost weight, but that's her choice, and that's I suppose the industry that she's in. If she's happy, then whatever. But there seems a lot of controversy around her at the moment. So there's like the colours, her weight, and then obviously her partner, who she's been very out there with. Yeah. In with the awards and their premiere and their tour and everything, because obviously he's in Wicked as well. But I don't know how much you know about it, but he was married and had, I think it was either a newborn or like, you know, a little bit older baby while he was filming Wicked, and then he left her for Ariana, and his ex-wife has like done loads of interviews and things saying how it kind of come out of the blue, and it's all been so public and so many people are commenting on it, and I think it's almost overshadowed Wicked just a little bit.
I think it's so common though That
Yeah.
is so common for that to happen. And I think that's it's such a massive thing that people who act together, especially in, whether it be in a film, whether it would be, whether in a loving kind of partnership in a film. And I know you haven't watched it, but I watched Stella, which has got Ruth Jones in. And there's a guy called Patrick Balaldi that is one of the main characters. He comes into season 3, and he was quite a small actor, quite a small actor. Didn't really do much. He's done a few things now, not that much. He's on Line of Duty, not as much, but he's still there.
Yeah.
He did a play, a short film play, something, and I will forward it to you. And it's of an interview of this short play. I think it was just he'd done this play. It didn't get much of a view. He went into Stella, it got more views because people were like, oh, Googling him. And he did an interview, and Ruth Jones wrote Stella with her husband. So her husband knew that her character was getting involved romantically with these characters that they were coming in with. And he said in his interview that if Ruth Jones hadn't created this play, well, this show, with her husband, he wasn't a part of that process, he could have easily won her over and maintained a relationship with her. And I think it's so dangerous that there are so many things. Like, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively didn't get together, like, no problems. Like, he cheated. Who was it he cheated on? He cheated on, oh, I don't know. My brain's not working. But they didn't get together organically. Like, it wasn't like an organic love. Like, every celebrity at the moment that seems to be in these, like, loving relationships, they've all cheated on someone in that industry. Or even being in normal relationships, they've gone into the industry and so quickly cheated on their partners. Like, what is up with that? What is that?
You've got to be one hell of a strong-willed person, I think. If you're acting alongside somebody romantically, and being able to turn off those emotions that you need to portray on screen and then go home to your partner or whoever. Yeah. And let's face it, the love that is put on screen is a far more powerful love than it is in reality.
Yeah.
Most people don't sweep up their partners and slam them against a wall, or, granted, people can be passionate, but let's face it, on a day-to-day basis, that's not how sex is.
Yeah.
And so then you're then performing that, or even if it's not a sex scene, just a kiss scene, tends to be kissing in the rain, or
but I see what you mean. There's definitely more an intensified situation. Have you've watched Ugly Betty, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
So Christopher Guerin and America, I think it's Farrago.
Oh yeah.
So they had obviously a relationship in Ugly Betty, Henry and Betty, the most beloved couple that should have been Endgame. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And so America was single when she was first filming Ugly Betty, and Christopher Guerin was not significantly older, but kind of older, and they dated for a short while. And when I say short, I mean the shortest. I think it was just... But they did an interview, and I think he did an interview, or someone, and he'd shared that they felt like it was definitely the sweep up of that series, because they was in such close contact of being so in love and showing this brand new love, and that they felt like there had to be something off the screen. Like, they felt like there had to be a relationship. Yeah. And this is why I love Jenna Ortega, because Jenna Ortega has been in plenty of things where she has had love interests, and she has never once dated a co-star, because, believe it or not, it can be done.
Of course.
It can be done. And I feel like that industry gives you the fact of, So what happens? I go onto a film, and I become the love interest. I kiss Chris Hemsworth. Does that mean that all of a sudden I'm now in love with this man? Like,
Yes.
But Jenna Ortega shows it can be done.
But that depends on the person, doesn't it? Depends on how aware of themselves they are. Not everyone is. I know for a fact, I would put money on it. If I become a film star tomorrow, someone put me in a show and I had to stare at my co-star for hours for promo shoots, for everything, I'd be like, I am in love with that man. Don't care. I'm going to have his babies. He might not want me, but I would be completely and utterly in love. And I just know I would.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. A few weeks down the line, I would crash and be like, I absolutely am not. But I know me. And this is why I could never date an actor, for one.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't bear the thought of them going off and doing that. I've had this conversation before about people like in Strictly Come Dancing. I know America, they've got Dancing with the Stars, haven't they?
Yeah.
That's something else where I can totally understand how they get together, because they are up against each other for hours a day. For weeks and weeks and weeks. And like, you're right, it's not organic. It's forced upon.
Yeah.
You're almost tricking your brain into thinking you're in love.
I think it's really hard, and I think I do understand that maybe there can be but I think Ariana Grande, I used to watch her in Sam and Cat. I used to watch her in Victorious. I knew her when she was the squeaky speaking thing that was on Nickelodeon. So some of the stuff that's come out about her, and I did hear about the whole she got with somebody on set, and I thought, is that true, or is this just something that people are trying to make into a rumour? And obviously you sent it to me, and I did actually look it up, believe it or not. I know that sometimes I don't. And I was shocked, because I just thought, maybe my moral compass is completely wound to a point of where if someone is in a relationship and someone is married, I don't care if they turn around to you and say, oh, we're not happy, we haven't been for ages. I know we have a kid, but we've just... Until that relationship is goddamn over, you go away. Like, don't press it. Like, they want to kiss you, don't kiss them. They want to hug you, keep it a friend hug. Like, and I have seen over the years, the amount of stuff that's come out about celebrities of like, so-and-so's cheated, they've cheated, oh, well, they were married, but he wasn't happy. And, and I just think, like, is it just being a celebrity that your moral compass is like, well, it happens in the industry, so I'm going to do it? And I just feel like, what's his name? Not Morgan Freeman.
I was going to say, what?
He played, he was in Mamma Mia, and he played James Bond as well.
Oh, Pierce Brosnan.
Now, Pierce Brosnan is a man of the factual of honours. He has been with his wife through the skinny times, through the curvy times, through the no Botox times. She's taking a bit of Botox now, but it's okay, girl. I get you, right? He has been in the most romantic situations on screen where I have truly believed that these people are in love. But no. Pierce Brosnan, one of the most famous actors, one of the Bonds, still never cheated on his wife.
No, he's a true gent. You can see that. He's just a gent.
If Pierce Brosnan can do it, Ariana Grande can do it.
Absolutely. But we know that everyone's so different. Some people are weaker, some people aren't.
Yeah, but that's not being... If that's weak, that is so weak. That's not even her, though. That's him. Like, she's single. She was doing what she wanted. Bit naughty. Shouldn't have really gone there. But he's the one that was married and had a kid. How weak were you to go, oh, well, it's Ariana Grande? And do you know what it was? It's because it was Ariana Grande.
Yeah. Who turns down Ariana Grande? I would turn down Ariana.
I don't know.
I can't say her name
I would
now.
a little bit. She annoys me sometimes, but...
Oh, she does, but she's Ariana Grande. It's the same. I don't particularly like Beyonce, but if Beyonce said, do you want to have a go? I'd be like, yeah, sure.
I think we have different aspects of that, but...
Different values.
No, honestly, I think I know that. I don't know. Like, I feel like. Do you remember when the Depp and thing was happening.
Amber Heard, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And everyone was like, he's so in love with his lawyer. He's so in love with her. Like, he is gonna have her for dinner after this case is over. And then to make a point, she brought her husband to the courthouse to make a point that you cannot stand there. This wasn't a joke. This wasn't like a TV program. Like, this wasn't like, oh, life, who's going to be voted off. Like, this was Amber Heard and Johnny Depp's real life, you know, imposition of, you know, her crying because a bee stung her dog and him being abused, right? And the internet don't care about that. The internet don't care that Amber Heard's a horrible woman. They just care that he's potentially going to be dating his solicitor in a couple of weeks when this is all over. What was that about?
No. Do you know what though? I feel like me and you are disagreeing a lot today, but I'm going to give.
No, if you tell me, no.
No. I'm not saying I agree with it. I don't. Ethically, I don't. But there was such a thing around that court that it was a circus which vamped everything up, and it was almost expected to pick apart every bit of detail. It wasn't, oh, someone on a red carpet. It was like, what's she saying? Is he lying? Is she lying? What's the lawyer saying? The lawyer's getting it wrong. Johnny Depp's getting it wrong. That witness got that wrong. I don't think you've ever been
to court, have you?
Yeah, many times.
But
yeah, but not. This was a world thing. People on YouTube, everyone was chatting all at the same time. It was a phenomenon.
Was it fake? And I know this sounds really, really stupid, but why? Right, just hear me out, okay?
I'm listening.
There are so many celebrities that go to court every single week, every single month, every single year. The amount of people that you open up Facebook, below so and so's been to court, they don't put it on the screen. So why was this put on the screen? What was so important about Johnny Depp that he needed to have a live wire watch every single day of this court case?
I don't know American law because I know they do record all of their
but they don't make it a TV show. They don't put it live. And if me personally, I feel like it was a show. I feel like
it was.
I feel like it was a publicity thing.
It was.
Like, did Johnny Depp not have that much money, so we needed to make money off gifts, off TikTok,
no, I don't.
On live? I
think, if anything, if I'm going to go on a gut feeling, is that they know that Johnny Depp is far more charismatic than Amber Heard is. Amber Heard is beautiful, no matter what anyone thinks of her. She's stunning.
She got replaced by an octopus, but yeah.
Well, yeah. but he was always going to come out better. And if they could get that out there, because, well, she pretty much destroyed his career.
Yeah.
So there's potential for all of that. But anyway, we digress. Going back to the awards, this is the thing. Celebrity is... It's not about being an actor. It's not about being a singer. It's not about having talent. It is absolute. Everything that they do is a complete circus.
It's about publicists. It's about having your publicist.
Yes.
Making you known, even if it's the worst things.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Bad publicity is still publicity at the end of the day. You know, I mean, even I think I've said I wanted to talk about this so much, and I feel like this is the right time for it. Is the Grammys and the Kanye and his wife or girlfriend pulling the nude dress stunt.
That poor girl.
I know. I can't get over it. Although I've seen like several dresses where they're not showing much more, to be fair, since then.
I think I get what you mean, and you do see them. But I didn't want to watch it, and for a long time I did avoid those videos because I just thought I don't want to see this. But I did eventually watch it because it was spoke about in high definition by a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I saw it and I just thought, what's his point? Because he's cancelling himself very quickly for some of the stuff he's doing, right?
No, yeah. But I think he will always have a get out of jail card in regards to, one, mental health, two, popularity, three, he has a big following of people that almost see him not as a god, but he seems to know, beyond. He's been like this because of a cult. He's this way because of XYZ. And you get the people that are, conspiracy theorists that are absolutely going to be on his side no matter what. I think he's creepy as hell, but that's just my opinion. The poor girl looked like she was being held at gunpoint. Obviously she wasn't, but that's the face that she was pulling. And, there's been lip reading experts. You have to take them with a grain of salt, obviously, because, well, then they can't always be right. But I think one of them said that before she took her coat off, he said, let's cause a scene. Something along those lines. I can't remember exactly. But it was so it was definitely a planned stunt. They weren't invited even to the event.
Yeah.
They just turned up on the red carpet. She dropped her coat and off they went. And they were escorted.
He wants to be seen at every aspect of what he does. And it doesn't matter if he's completely downgrading the president, or he's downgrading other countries, or he's doing something stupid. And my thing about it was that he was with Kim Kardashian. And I feel like when he got with her, he did dress her and he did put a fashion forward on what he wanted on her. But I feel like she was a bit more mentally able to go, no. Like, I know part of what I want to do and some of what you're doing I don't want to do.
Yeah.
But I feel like he also got to step up with marrying her, because ever since he's been married to her, his connections have got wider. So he's not just the guy who was potentially in a cult or this or that. Like, he has had more of a step up since being in that situation and being on the TV and being in a series. But I think he wants to make a scene everywhere he goes. And I think sometimes I just think, well, you've got a wife that you kind of modelled to Kim. And
she looks so like her, doesn't she?
You don't intend on having children with her. But it doesn't seem like it's a marriage. It seems like it's an always convenient publicity stunt.
For
and
him.
That he uses her to have like an upper hand in a way. And I think, and I can't say, because maybe behind closed doors there's a completely different dynamic to what there is.
Maybe,
but that dress and that, I mean, you want to be known for something in your life, and I'm sure everyone eventually at some point you're all going to get your 15 minutes of fame, whether it be small or big, and everyone will at one point in their lives. But for her, I mean, was that it? Is that really what you thought was gonna? Because they didn't pay attention to her, really. They were actually paying attention to Kanye.
Yeah, well, that's probably what he wanted. Obviously, we can't say any of this with any certainty, because we don't really know what was going through their heads, either of their heads. But it gave me a very ick feeling, and I think it did a lot of people. Like, this was control. Whether that is the case, whether she was a complete willing participant, only she knows. One day we might know as well, but right now we don't. And I will give her due. Amazing. She looked amazing.
Yeah.
No matter what we
gorgeous,
say.
Like.
Yeah. It's just, wow, to do something like that and not instantly crumble.
But at least you got your name. At least someone was speaking about you. Yeah. And I think, honestly, that's all about take away Kanye, but publicity of everything. As long as their names just keep circulating, we'll always know names. It's just some people don't take the advantage to keep their name going. So they do die down. And I think some people, like Kanye, I don't think he could survive without having his name mentioned at least once a day on the internet.
No. But then what would he do? What would he do?
Work an Asda.
Yeah. There's nothing. He reached a level of, like, celebrity where he couldn't just go get an ordinary job. He has to keep being out there because that's all he's got.
And one day, when the world no longer needs celebrities, and we can no longer provide for the, you know, give the money to do their jobs, and we're all running around in the wild because zombies are eating us. They will be nothing of the kind. And Kanye will just be in a shack hoping that a zombie doesn't kill him.
Get what you need to do with a zombie attack is get treadmills and put them around your house.
That's a really good idea, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just say,
Yeah.
I've been looking at you in the camera, and behind you it looks like there is a man crossing his arms.
There is.
Right. I have to ask, because it has been annoying me this whole... At first I thought it's just a man watching you, and I thought, does she know? Does she know there's a man there? What is that?
It's just my man. He's bodyguarding me. No, it's my cardboard cutout that I got for my 30th
Okay.
of Sam Heughan from Outlander.
Ah, okay. Because this whole time, I've just thought, is this a robber that's just been really quiet and listening to what we're saying?
And not moved.
And not moved 1 inch. And it's just been in the corner of my eye, like my eye. And I've been like, that looks like an interesting art that you have.
He faces my bathroom, so when I go for a wee, Sam watches over me.
And protects you in the dark.
He protects me from the toilet monsters. He makes every single person that steps in here jump out of their life, and I thoroughly enjoy it.
I feel like if that was me and I heard a noise and I just looked to the side, I'd be like, what is that? I get scared with my dressing gowns being on the back of my door.
I'm so used to him now. He made me jump quite a few times when I first got him.
Yeah.
But now I'm so used to him. I mean, I'm nearly 34, so he's been part of my life for like 4 years.
Quite a while
so,
now.
Yeah, he's part of the furniture. Although he's starting to like crumble a bit now. I'm probably going to have to replace him.
No, just duct tape him up. He'll be all right.
Duct tape him. All right, fair enough. Although he's not dressed as in his Outlander outfit. He's in a normal suit, which is still
okay.
good. But you know, I might have to replace him for Luke Newton. You know, at some point, but not yet. It's still Sam for the time being. But yeah, that's my man. That's who I share my flat with.